Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. We're set for today's video. The beer's courtesy of Billy. Thanks so much, Billy. I really appreciate it. And you know how excited I am for this. So, Billy recently sent two boxes like very close together. This glass was in the most recent unboxing I did, and it's like the most proper glassware ever because it's a Firestone Walker. And what do they call it? Brewmasters Collective. It's their society, you know. And so this is a glass only for that society, right? Like, and this is a beer from that. And so but this was the first of the two recent unboxings I did. This beer was in, and how do I put this succinctly? This is the one I'm the most excited to try. He sent me Lagunitas Willatize, which was very thoughtful. It was the most thoughtful thing in there because I missed it this year in my area. So he happened to, have an extra one and sent it my way. Certainly ones that he knew I would like. Well, all of them I think he assumes I like. But there was like the super aged Bigfoot from 2011 because he'll do Cellar days as well as my Cellar Saturday. But this is one I'm super excited about. I'm also super curious about, because it's a collab. So it's, I don't know exactly how they want me to pronounce this, but Parabanoche is my guess. And it's a Firestone Walker and Weldwerks Brewing Company collab. And here's why I'm so curious about this beer, because I haven't seen any reviews of it, video or, people writing reviews. I've seen nothing about this. Parabla, delicious, OG barrel-aged stout. And then you have, Medianoche, which is this newer, like, super viscous motor oil kind of, barrel-aged stout. So I'm kind of wondering, is this somewhere in the middle? Is this more Parabla, more Medianoche? Like, I'm super curious about this beer. They're saying barrel-aged imperial stout aged in whiskey barrels. It has, like, the original gravity. They only made 300 cases. Wow. I was just looking for the alcohol. Here it is, 13.1% ABV. Let's get into it. Kind of like having that the glass is a little smaller, so I can sip this over time. I thought something chipped off, but it was just the microphone I caught in the corner of my eye. I'm like, right? Like, yeah, nothing chipped off. Yeah, weird. That's... This might have answered my question. That looks more Medianoche than Parabla. Let me recap this because I'm going to be sipping this for the rest of the night. Such a nice stopper. Beer before glory under the cap. Yeah, I mean, that's very dark. Minimal brown in there. Not a lot of head. And it looks so dark pouring it. Yeah. A little bit of lacing. The legs have a brown tinge to them for sure. Looks like a thicker beer. Let's get into the aroma. You get a little bit of that booze, like the whiskey. You get some oak, some caramel, some dark chocolate, some sweet chocolate, more like milk chocolate. A little bit of raisin. More of that oak's coming through. Really nice vanilla. Toasted coconut. Like, I feel like I'm just going through the list of stuff like you would get in a beer like this. In the aroma, like, I'm trying to think of stuff I'm not getting with a barrel-aged stout. Like, I'm not getting black licorice. There's some roastiness, but it's not coffee smelling. Yeah, I mean, it's just got a lot of the other stuff you would think with, like, you get a list. Little boxes in front of each tasting or aroma note, and then you just keep checking those boxes off. Most of those boxes are checked. See about the taste. Cheers. Thanks again, Billy. Hope you're doing well. That's really good. Wow. Wow. Oh my God. That is so good. All right, so as I said at the beginning of the video, I was super curious, in terms of like viscosity and flavor and stuff. Is this going to lean more Parabla? Is this going to lean more Medianoche? This leans more Medianoche for sure. This has a nice viscosity. This has definitely an added richness. And Just to be crystal clear, none of this is a shot at Parabla. Just Medianoche is a thicker beer. They boil it longer. It's in the mash. They do all that stuff longer. So it's just a different, a version of the same style. Man, I wish I had my shelf so I could point to my Parablas and be like, I love Parabla. But yeah, this is more Medianoche. Such richness to this beer, heft, a little oily, all that kind of syrupy, all that kind of stuff for sure. I do get a little bit more roast in the taste. I was getting the aroma, so that's nice. I would say almost like watered down espresso notes is how that comes across. Very deep, dark chocolate. Almost like if you had, and maybe the product exists, I think I've said this before and I've never bothered to look it up, like does anyone make a chocolate syrup that's dark chocolate? Like it kind of tastes what I think that, like it tastes like what I think that would taste like. And yeah, the depth of chocolate is definitely one of those beers that has complexity with a chocolate note. There's just regular milk chocolate. I get some, Hershey's Special Dark. I get a higher cacao count dark chocolate. Like I said, that dark Hershey's syrup or chocolate syrup, if that exists, kind of a note. I mean, like how long has it been since I've taken a sip and I can still speak to this beer? Like that's how impactful the flavors are. I got a little bit of that whiskey, some of that oak, maybe even a slight char element coming through, because there was like a whisper of smokiness to it. Again, like whisper, I mean very, very, very faint. The coconut got in the aroma. I didn't quite get in the taste, so I'm curious to look for that. And I did get some raisin in the aroma. There's a much deeper, yet nuanced berry, fruit, raisin hybrid component to this. Really nice. God, this is good. Like Billy, this is really good, man. So even more so, I appreciate it because this is kind of blowing my mind. Yeah, that vanilla level is nice. Slight coconut, very slight, but it's there. The oak's interwoven with the vanilla in a lovely way. I got more caramel in the aroma than I get in the taste, but I do get some. You know what it reminds me more of is, and it's been a while since I've said this, date syrup. And it's interesting, my wife last weekend had date syrup for the first time, and I always think it's a little bit more caramelly with some chocolate syrup. She thought it was much more chocolate syrup. I think we almost like swapped. She thought it was very chocolate syrupy with a little bit of a caramel taste. And I'm definitely getting that thing. So for me, it's interwoven with the chocolate, certainly, but I get not quite caramel, but more date syrup. If you've ever had that, like that's the note for me here. One more sip. This is just too good to do two sips. But again, like the tastes linger. They're very impactful, so it's kind of easy to recall what you tasted, even though some time had passed. Yeah, this is really good. That smoky, roasty char brings some nice balance to this because it's relatively sweet. I haven't spoken to that. Because this relatively sweet beer does not get cloyingly sweet at any point in the sip, for me at least. But I do like sweet things, but to me this is not cloyingly sweet. Yeah, and I cannot get that date syrup thing on my head. It really has that throughout. I got another sip. A little bit of cacao powder, too. Cocoa powder. And yeah, that berry note is really nice in there. This is lovely. They really crushed it. I would love to know their process. Was this all email back and forth kind of recipe stuff? Did someone from Weldwerks go out and help Firestone Walker brew this? Like how much collaboration was there really in this collab? Because they really knocked it out of the park, so that makes me curious. But yeah, have you guys had this one before? Have you had Parabla lately? Have you had Medianoche lately? Have you had them ever? Anything, everything? Comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews, both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.